And you've just heard Yesterday's, the new single from Sarah Caltieri. And I'm very pleased to be joined by Sarah now. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Alistair.
So first of all, what can you tell us about Yesterday's?
Yesterday's is about a not a very nice experience, actually, Alistair. But we all go through not very nice experiences as humans. However, the experience taught me a lot. And so I was able to forgive the situation and see it for what it was and write a song about it.
Well, it's interesting you say that about difficult situations, because I hope you don't mind me saying you've had quite a few to face over your life. And I think music has helped with that. Is that the case? Absolutely,
Alistair. Yeah, music's saved my life in many a situation, literally.
I mean, that's not an exaggeration at all. Could you maybe talk a little bit more about that?
Well, there's been a few situations I've been in during my lifespan, including I nearly died at the age of 7 from type 1 diabetes. I went into a coma and they didn't think I was going to live through that. They thought I was basically a goner, but I came back. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on this earth. And then during my teenage years, unfortunately, I struggled with my diabetes and I developed a diabetic eating disorder. And at the time, there was no help for it. It was quite rare. And luckily, after a while, I managed to seek the help I needed to get through that. But then shortly after I got through it and got counselling and worked my way through all the emotional mess I'd got myself into, I lost a lot of my vision. And I was in the middle of pursuing my singing and acting career at the time. So I actually thought, Alistair, if I'm honest, I thought, do you know something? I've just got myself through all that eating disorder and now this happens. What's the point? And then my grandmother, I remember the day I came home from hospital, I'll never forget it. They just registered me as partially sighted. Registered me blind, actually, even though I had some vision left, useful vision. And I said to my family, my grandma, I said, that's it, I'm just ending it. And my grandma took me by the hands and she said, now you listen here, she said. She was a headmistress. You listen here. It's only your sight. It's only your sight. It's not your life. Pull yourself together. And I thought, you know something? She's absolutely right. And from that day forward, Alistair, I'm not kidding. I just thought, right, let's deal with this. Let's get over it. I'm going to ring all my friends, tell them that I won't be able to see them very well next time I see them. So don't be shocked, and see how we can do this, see how I can rebuild things. And then be an international recording artist.
Fantastic. That really is. And you've been such a kind of a positive promoter on helping other people who have had similar issues. I know you did some stuff with Channel 4 and
yes,
it was used for that.
That apparently over 1 million viewers tuned in to watch that, and it was pick of the week in all the major magazines and everything. So it was quite popular. Yeah. It tracked me. I mean, it tracked everything from going through operations to going to auditions. I mean, I was doing so much, Alistair, because at the end of the day, you don't need sight to sing. You don't need sight to be on a stage. You don't need sight to act. You didn't need sight for any of these things. So I just went hell for leather. And every time the film crew came to film it, because we had like 3-week periods where they'd come for a week and they'd film me doing things. And I had a timetable for them. I had a schedule set up. I'd be like, right, this week we're going to the gym, we're going to a nightclub, we're going to a recording studio. Film crew tagging along. It was so much fun.
Film crew would have been delighted that you'd organised the whole shoot for them. That was something.
Oh, I think I made it easy for them. Yeah, we got on like a house on fire. We were like a family, actually, by the end of it.
Because you should say that as well as your music, you're an actor as well, and I've done theatre and things like that too. So was it a decision really to, after your talk from your grandmother, to go, right, I'm grabbing life with both hands, which does seem that's what you've done?
I think because when going through the eating disorder, Alistair, it's a very complicated eating disorder, because you've got the diabetes involved, and you've got the eating involved, and you've got the mental side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So for somebody, say, with anorexia or bulimia, they've got one thing to sort out, well, a few things to sort out. With diabetes, there's the added complication of you've got to keep yourself alive.
Yeah.
And so it's insulin manipulation is what it is, to keep yourself thin. But in the process of doing that, you damage your internal organs. It's very serious. People can die very quickly. And the thing is, once you've got yourself through all that, and your body's well, and your blood sugars are normal, and you feel really healthy and vibrant, you just want to conquer the world. You've got so much energy. So I was actually really, really well when I did start to have deterioration in my sight. So you're thinking to yourself, oh, but I feel so amazing for the first time in my life. I can remember lines. My voice is not dried out because I wasn't dehydrated from the high blood sugars. And then this ipping happens, you know.
Well done.
But I don't know, something kicked in, and it said to me, okay, this has happened, but it's not the end of your life, it's the start. And I can't explain what happened. It was a very strange experience, and it sounds quite odd. And I've been interviewed, obviously, about it previously, and I actually said, you know something, it's actually the best experience I've had in my entire life. I would never go back. Yeah. It changed me. Yeah. And I'd never go back. It did something to me, Alistair, and it was a gift. That's all I can really describe it as, you know. And also that's the reason I felt so passionately about trying to use my my creativity to help try and raise awareness of it and do things for the people with it.
And a lot of your music has kind of reflected that, you know, you've written about it. And how could you just explain how music, what the role music has played? Because it does seem that it's an absolute central one.
Well, music, I grew up, as you're probably aware, I grew up in a really musical household. Both my parents they were actually classical musicians, but I rebelled and I went to the pop rock side. But our house was always filled with performers and singers and actors and bohemian people, and you know, and so I grew up with it.
Yeah.
And I just grew up loving dressing up and loving being around it. And so it was probably a natural thing for me to evolve into the arts. I mean, my mum did actually say to me, Sarah, whatever you do, don't be a professional. And of course, because I'm a Caltieri, I said, well, of course I'm going to do it. So I just pursued it during my teenage years, and I did acting classes and singing classes, and it all progressed from there. And my aim really was just to sing and write my own music. However, what happened was that I found songs, rather than trying to write songs, they'd come to me. So I'd go through an experience and a song would come to me. And actually, they really have saved my life. And one of the ones that is on the album, which, you know, has been played a lot, is Higher Than Before, which was played on the end of the documentary. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the songs that I wrote sitting on my bedroom floor thinking, okay, how am I gonna do this? How? I've got no sight. I'm sitting on this bedroom floor. How am I going to fulfill my dreams? And literally this song, it's like something was channeled. That's all I can describe it as, really. It's like they land on me rather than me trying to write them. And in fact, if I sit down and try to write a song, it takes me hours.
That's really interesting. It's almost like you have to be in a relaxed state and your kind of musical antennae is picking up these songs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, because we are now at the stage where live music is beginning to start up again after this, you know, year or so, almost 2 years of not being able to do that. it was about, you're back in, was it about 2017, where you did a year-long tour of Scotland to promote your album. Are you considering something like that again, now that we can all get out to play?
Definitely, Alistair. I'm dying to do live stuff again. I'm dying to do it. It's the fun part for me, is being with a live audience and having the crack and being able to sing to them, and it's just so much fun. And I've missed it so much. It's been so hard, actually. I found last year really, really challenging.
Right.
Because obviously having a physical job, and then all of a sudden it's all taken away from you, and you sat in a house. And I was in between house moves when it all broke out, so I actually got caught in a different city so it's been really, really challenging, if I'm honest. So I can't wait to get out, and we're trying to work on it at the moment, and set a few dates. So yeah,
fantastic. I can't wait for that. And it'll be great to get out again and see live music. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, thanks so much for taking time to have a chat with me today. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure, Alistair.
And this is Sarah Caltieri's Just for Today.